Today I have a special guest, and we're going to talk about this ban that the United States government is trying to do against TikTok. And so we both have different opinions on this conversation. Basically, uh, I feel that it's a free enterprise, and that this is going to hurt a lot of Americans by trying to ban this app or force it to sell here in the United States, which I think is uh, holding a corporation hostage in a sense. So,
Yeah.
so Leon,
Give me a second. Give me 1 second.
tell me
Go
how
ahead,
you
buddy.
feel about this ban.
I actually, I do have mixed reviews of the van. The thing is, I know a lot of people are saying, the people in Congress and in the Senate, are kind of like not with the times or outdated or whatever. But if this is a real problem and a real threat, I don't, I don't think we know the whole story. What's going on behind this. Um, Unfortunately, we do have adversaries in the world, and the Communist Party in China is one of them. Not saying anything against the Chinese people or anything, but their government is what it is. And I don't think they have the United States' best interests at hand. And I think in the future, there's not going to be a World War II like how it used to be. Wars are going to be fought economically and on a different level, and socially. And to implode a country or sovereignty, you're going to have to do it within. They know they can't take us head on because we have one of the best militaries in the world and the best weapons in the world. So they want us to get in and divide us, and I think that is a plan. And we have to be careful.
So,
And
so you think that they're going to use TikTok to do this uh, as a way to influence Americans
pretty
um,
much, I
and
mean,
try to destroy us from
there's
within?
already there's already division in America. All you have
Well,
to do
due
is
to
keep playing
politics.
on that. But through
Well, I mean, look,
politics,
U.S. politics is it's always been rough here, always.
right,
Um,
right.
and not to say nobody else's country's politics aren't as hard as the United States, but the United States is it's a little bit extreme here with how people fall in and take sides. And our own government do a really good job of keeping us divided, using similar tactics themselves, instead of letting the American people come together. So I have to say that there are other apps that are affiliated with China and they're used here in the United States. Now, Congress did pass some laws um, restricting how much data they are allowed to, I guess, take from the American people and I guess sell it. But
Right.
if the Chinese truly wanted to just steal data from us, they don't even have to do that. They can just purchase it legally because we have companies here who actually gather our information and sell it on a global stage.
Well, maybe all that should be stopped.
So,
Maybe,
well,
maybe,
yeah, well,
maybe
that's
this is
that.
something we. Maybe
But
this
that's
is
my
something
whole
we've been
point with
missing.
the TikTok. I think if they really wanted to pass legislation, they could without banning this app or forcing it to sell here in the United States, which I think is
Well,
absolutely
I mean,
forced to
here's
sell.
the thing. I know you say it's being forced to sell. And it is. But you got to remember these Chinese companies have to answer to the government, and to have a media outlet answering to another adversary we can't have in America. You know, it's a double-edged sword. If something like this happens, like I think I forgot the lady's name. She said it is a slippery slope.
Yes,
But I think a lot of
it's
things are going to change.
Margaret
We're going to
Taylor
see a lot.
Greene.
Yes, I think we're going to see a lot of change, for how we do business and how we do entertainment in the world. How people perceive us.
Well,
You know,
that's what brings me, to this discussion is the fact that when you look at the other platforms, if you're a person who want to entertain, being able to entertain, years ago you had to go through certain channels to be able to do such, and it was people who profited off your talent and your gifts. So you take YouTube for example, they'll use this content. and they'll replay it and replay it. But before somebody can get paid on it, you have to meet YouTube standards in order to even benefit from your own work. So they benefit from your work first. Same thing with Facebook. They'll get millions and millions of views off your work, but they're not paid. Whereas
Right.
TikTok, when you post your content, uh, if you're into entertainment or some source, you're getting the full benefit. You're getting all the views. So you talk about hurting millions of Americans who have used that app to build a business, build a brand for themselves without having to have somebody else in their pocket or
No,
their
no,
content
I
uh,
understand. Like I
benefit
said,
from.
it is a double-edged sword, and I'm not saying by banning it, it's not gonna hurt a lot of people. It may, but you gotta realize it's got to be what's best for the country. It's got to be there can be other platforms out there. You can make things, and this is the land of opportunity. We can make our own TikTok. We don't have to have exactly like how they have it, but there's other platforms out there. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's X now, and maybe we can get them to change the way they do things and YouTube how they do business, to adapt it, so it wouldn't hurt America. Maybe in the bill, instead of, people can earn more and not having YouTube profit so much and then give some of the money to the people who are creating the content. Because I like YouTube. I'm always on YouTube. I'm always looking at stuff on YouTube. TikTok, I was on for a little bit and then it started to die off because it just felt, like you get all these people putting so much information, you don't know what's true and what's not. You got so many conspiracy theories, you got people, talk about all types of stuff on TikTok, and that can be good and bad at the same time. Um, I don't know. If they think this is a threat, I think there's nothing we can do about it. The country's going to do. These people are going to do what they think is best for the country. And you know, our government. You know, we try not to say we have secrets, but I think we have to have secrets, and you can't tell the American people everything because they don't want the people to panic.
Well,
But
I think that's the responsibility of all governments because all governments
right,
have obligation to their citizens, right?
right,
They're basically are to oversee and make sure. Now, whether it's communist, socialism, or capitalism, all these governments have secrets, and it's not, you know, human if people aren't suspicious when they're secrets.
right,
Anytime there's secrets, people are going to be
right,
suspicious of their government.
right.
Uh, so yeah, I do agree that there's certain things that the government does not always need to disclose everything to its citizens. Uh, the main important thing is that we're able to, here in the United States, to have the Freedom Act, where we get to review these things over time. We'll get to see.
Over time, right,
The United States will release them to the public, but for the most part, there are a lot of things that aren't meant for the public to know, which keeps us safe.
right.
So I do agree with that. And so we're going to wrap this up. I just
All right,
wanted,
buddy.
your opinion on the ban,
Yeah. All
and
right.
I don't think the Senate has written a bill yet. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're even going to or
Well,
not. Um,
let me ask you something now. Do you think now? I heard on the news that Biden said he was signing, and this is out of all the things that's going on in our country. This is something Republicans and Democrats are actually working together on. They're not even fighting. A lot of them are working together on this, and the president said he would sign the bill. So is that really saying something to us? Like, what's really going on?
well, look, I watched the documentary last night. I completed it. It's called American Conspiracies.
Hmm.
It's on Netflix. Uh, there, it's a great story. I suggest that Americans get to watch this. It is actually based off true events. It kind of shows you how government functions and some of the things they've done. So the United States used the software that they actually sold globally to basically spy on not only their adversaries but also their allies. We know Edwin Snowden reported about this when he decided to betray his nation by exposing the NSA. Um, it's part of espionage. So who's to say that the Chinese haven't been gaining certain information that we're not aware of? So although the general public is on TikTok enjoying the videos and people's content, there might be trap doors that are open that are allowing certain things to get through. Congress obviously has, obligation and responsibility. They get briefed with intel just like the White House does, and maybe there was certain things that the Chinese have been gaining that the United States don't feel comfortable them getting access to. I mean, we
Right,
won't notice probably for a few years down the road. Eventually, the truth will come out.
right.
Um, if TikTok was being used to spy on the United States, not so much
I
the everyday American, but the
look,
United
look.
States. So,
You have an app that a lot of Americans have. People in the military. We have no idea what this app is capable of. Tracking, doing different things. You just don't know. And let me tell you something. ByteDance is the parent company to TikTok. If anybody's going to say ByteDance of the government of China, the CCP goes to ByteDance, they have to do what they say. It's no but ins, ands, or buts about it. That's it. They have total control of any country in China. They have total control. If it's a Chinese company, if you don't, you know where you're gonna go.
right.
So,
Okay, folks.
and one more thing, that the companies or these Chinese companies, certain CEOs that who got out of line, you don't see them no more. You know,
Right.
so
Thank you for
all right,
tuning
buddy,
in today and sharing with us.
no
Um,
problem.
and so we'll talk again, some different topics, of course, but I appreciate you making the time to come on to the show. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Sorry, I'm at work though.
Oh, it's okay.
All right, buddy.
I'll see you.